To discuss Israel's role in the 2012 election from the Young America's Foundation, Kate Obenshain, and Fox News contributor Kirsten Powers. Look, Kirsten, this is really not even in dispute. You've never had a worse relationship with Israel. He snubs the prime minister at the White House, does something we told Israel we would never do, call on them to return to 67 borders. There's been a series of events. And right now we're giving $1.5 billion to the Muslim Brotherhood and inviting Muslim Brotherhood, a known terrorist organization, to the White House. It's never been worse than it is right now. So Nancy Pelosi to make this claim is just idiocy.
Well, you know, Ehud Barak did an interview, it was yesterday or today, saying that actually they've never had a better relationship in terms of defense issues, which is his area of expertise. So I'm not sure that I have to agree with that. I think there's been disagreements with Israel.
He left the prime minister waiting inside the White House, and he snubbed him. And we're giving $1.5 billion tax dollars to the Muslim Brotherhood.
Okay, we're giving money actually to Egypt, which we've always done.
The Muslim Brotherhood.
And so, yes, and now the Muslim Brotherhood is in control of Egypt, but we have always given money to them. So let's not pretend like Barack Obama just created this idea of giving money to Egypt, because, well, the Muslim Brotherhood wasn't in control of the country before, but we have always given money to Egypt because we have a very vested interest in that country. Dishonest, Sean. Come on. I mean, you cannot suggest that somehow Barack Obama got up and said, let's see, what can I do today? I'm going to fund the Muslim Brotherhood. We give aid to Egypt. Now, that's a fair discussion if you want to talk about whether we should stop giving aid to Egypt.
The first thing that the Muslim Brotherhood did, Kate, when they got power in Parliament, was to declare Israel their #1 enemy. During the uprising, the Arab uprising, the Arab Spring, the Brotherhood was saying, prepare for war with Israel. And then they cut off energy supplies to Israel. And they are our closest ally.
And we ignore that. This president has ignored the threats that the Muslim Brotherhood makes, just like he has ignored Palestine working with Hamas. And Hamas is a terrorist organization, hates the United States. This president is not being aggressive in making sure that Iran does not acquire nuclear capabilities, which they've been very clear about, that they plan on using against the United States. If anything, this president has weakened the penalties against Iran for the way that it's been acting. And when Abbas plans this big celebration in Palestine to celebrate the murder of 37 Israelis, the administration turns a blind eye. And yet, Sean, they constantly belittle and lecture Israel, saying that Israel is not doing anything to forward the peace process, whereas Israel is bent over backwards trying to move forward. But Palestine won't even sit down with them. And then Barack Obama goes around the world and bows to the Saudi king, not a little bow, but a big one. I mean, constantly sides with Turkey when the terrorists attack the Israelis. I mean, please.
I'm sorry, as opposed to the Bush family, who actually have the Saudis into their home. You know, I mean, come on.
My gosh,
this is unbelievable that the distortion
Did he bow
of all
before
of this,
him on a tour around the world?
No, they just have them into their homes to entertain them.
Let me focus the conversation, because Mitt Romney's speech, I thought, was probably one of his best, and he talked about a moral imperative that the United States has, and a solemn obligation that the United States has, and that is to stand by Israel and support them as it relates to Iran. Privately.
Yes, of course. And nobody disagrees with that.
Hang on a second. Privately, we all know that the Obama administration has done everything they can do to prevent the Israelis from doing what is in their best national security interest, which is going to be, pretty obvious pretty soon, in my opinion. And then he talked about Jerusalem being the capital, directly repudiating this idiocy of Jay Carney in the White House last week. So he's drawing lines of distinction here that I think are going to be pretty big in the campaign.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Mitt Romney says if he becomes president. That's just
like Obama.
The idea that that he's just pandering in such an unbelievable way. Yes, here's the thing. You guys can't distinguish between the fact of Barack Obama having a disagreement with a right-wing government and actually Israel. They're not the same thing. All that Barack Obama has done.
We shouldn't interpret those words when he spoke in Cairo the way we do?
For Bibi Netanyahu, you think he doesn't support Israel. That's not the point. He has just honestly had an honest conversation with them about settlements, and suddenly, we can't do that. And we haven't even talked about how Mitt Romney went over there and insulted the Palestinians and acted like everything that in their economy is has nothing to do with Israel.
Honest, Kirsten, there's been nothing honest about the way this president has handled Israel. Before he became president, he said that Jerusalem was the indisputable capital of Israel, and now he says it's not. What this president has done fundamentally is emboldening Israel's enemies by constantly attacking not Netanyahu, although he's been nasty with him, with Sarkozy, those nasty little comments. But what he's done is he's told Israel's enemies the United States will turn a blind eye every time that they go after Israel, as they attack them verbally and encourage and foment this opposition, particularly among Palestinians and the Muslim Brotherhood. And fundamentally in Iran, we are turning a blind eye against it, and we're abandoning our best ally in the world.
And thank you.